Are you alright? Struggle?
I can fix Oh, hello, everybody that's streaming listening to right now.
While Dylan puts stuff in his calendar.
Obviously,
very exciting.
We're scheduling around some vacations. Anybody listening late, as always, I'll put a comment in here that give you the timestamp of when to skip ahead to when we're starting. But I think we're actually ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
So forget I said that. All right. So we watched 114 episodes.
Cool.
Welcome to the Legacy of 24. I'm Dylan Shuck, and I've seen every episode of 24.
And I'm just Brandon. I've seen 114 episodes of 24.
And I'm Christina Bannister. I've also seen 114 episodes of 24.
In this podcast, we're discussing episodes 17 and 18 of the 5th season of Fox's original show, 24.
In this podcast, we're going to be discussing all events up to these 2 episodes, not spoiling any events from any future episodes.
All episodes of 24 available to show on Amazon Prime, and we encourage you to watch along.
And big shout out to Patreon supporters. If you want to be a supporter of the show, you can go to patreon.com/thewatchandtalk. And big shout out to our premium supporters, Shakita, June, Endless, Mike, and Kaka. Hey, guys. How's your social media presence?
Dude, my media presence is down these days.
It's funny is I feel like I tell you this every week, but you still
I know.
I
just don't listen. I don't listen. But I know where you can go. Can you tell me though?
Yeah, you can go to thewatchtalk.com/coincrack to boost your social media presence. And big shout out to Ninth Link. Ninth Link designers where they listen to your business needs and create websites, applications, and email campaigns. Check them out at thewatchtalk.com/ninethlink. If you hear us addressing anybody in the chat, that means we stream these episodes live on YouTube. And we've already gotten a wonderful comment from great listener Russell that says that he's struggling with his social media presence. So also I give a shout out to that if you go to watchandtalk.com/coincrack. Shout out to you guys. But if you look at our Twitter or follow us on YouTube, just look up the Watch and Talk on YouTube. And we usually give some warnings on YouTube about when we're going to be streaming live. So check it out and be a part of the conversation. All right. A lot happened in this episode. These 2 episodes.
Lots of stuffs.
Well, kind of.
Tons of stuffs.
I feel like the only filler episode of the second half is actually 17. Because we don't get anywhere from where we were the episode before other than actually getting our hands on the evidence. So he found out the evidence existed, then we needed an episode to get our hands on it. So I remember walking away after that episode because we had to wait a weekend between these and it ends with, we have to take down the President of the United States, and being like, yeah, no shit, dude. We just had a week of thinking about that.
That was a tough line to swallow, I think.
Yeah, I could see how...
Do you feel like it was like, I don't know if that was super like, I don't know, it didn't feel almost, like it almost felt like too forced, you know?
I feel but I feel like it was hypothetical until then. Hey, if we get our hands on this and we're going to take him down, then once they got it, he's kind of just had this realization where he's like, geez, we really have to go through with this right now. We have to take down the president.
Yeah, I think it's the way he said the President of the United States that I wasn't on board with, but...
What do you guys think of the new Logan?
Just as annoying as the original, I think?
I think it was just more annoying.
But,
I mean...
how would you describe the changes in Logan since the last time we spoke?
Snaky.
Yeah, he's even more like... Before it was just like, he was kind of pathetic and a pushover. Now he's like, up to no good. Up to no good, Logan.
Right, before he always seemed incompetent.
Yeah, and now he's like just evil. He seems evil now.
And what about the difference between him and Gardner now? Like,
he's my new neighbor. He's just a good friend. I mean, he's like, hey, yeah.
Thinking back to a couple episodes ago, and he was like, "Don't worry, Mr. President. I have it all under control." And you're like, "Oh, he's so evil." And now it's just different. But yeah, let's get into the episodes. Before we do, I actually want to give a shout out to a new podcast that we just launched. Not you guys, but me.
Ooh. Do tell.
The name is, bear with me, guys. Bear with me.
Oh, the dump truck or something, right?
Wow. No, it's called The Deuce Drop. New show on HBO, premiering as soon as Game of Thrones is over in 3 weeks on September 10th. And it is called The Deuce. Now, I we go into this detail on our first episode. We just did a preview episode of the first season where we just kind of talk about the trailer and talk about everything we kind of know already before the show. It's actually really funny if anybody wants to check that out. You can check that at thedeucedrop.com. But, the thing is, anything we came up with sounded like poop. No matter what we did. The Deuce cast, the Deuce show, the Deuce hour. Like, what can you do with the Deuce? Like, there's nothing. Mm-hmm. So, what did we decide to do, Christina? You
guys just went for it. You went straight Deuce.
We dropped the Deuce. And we figured, hey, at least it's kind of funny, and it's just obvious that we're going for it instead of trying to hide behind the fact that it's poop automatically in it. So, anyway, check that out at thedeucedrop.com. I want everybody to hop on over that and check that out. And the first
that was available. That domain was available.
Thedeucedrop.com.
Yeah, that seems like it would have been taken.
Yeah, there's a Russian site by the same name, but it has a different. What's it called?
And it's probably very gross, right?
Yeah. I recommend anybody check that out, though. Yeah, I went there. I couldn't spend more than 4 hours there, and I was bored. But maybe go check it out. All right. So episode 517 aired on April 11, 2006. It's from 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. at that midnight mark. Isn't it interesting how things are also, I have to say, different in the presidential compound completely because he doesn't have a lot of people around him, and that's partly because he's been identified as a villain. And but the other reason is it's nighttime, and a lot of people have gone to sleep. So there's a reason for him to be. This was the perfect time for him to be revealed as the villain. I think, if you ask me, it allows him to be alone. He does have. I have to give a shout out to his phone. Did you notice his phone, Christina?
No.
He's a Motorola Razr.
Is it the pink one?
No, he didn't have a pink one, but it was back when the Motorola Razr was a cutting edge phone.
Oh yeah, everyone had to have it. And you know what's funny is like the guys even because the pink was the like special edition, I think, and so even guys were like, "Oh, I gotta have that pink one." Not that guys can't have pink, but
yeah. Christina and I both sold cell phones, and we literally sold pink razors to men.
Yeah.
To men. It would be like, oh, yeah, it's the hotness. Like, come on, it's hot.
Yeah.
Like, all right, dude. But, men can wear whatever color they want, and this...
Right, that's what I mean.
2017,
I don't want to offend anybody. Exactly. Yes. I forget sometimes.
If you like pink, that's fine. I just rolled my eyes at you, but that was 12 years ago, and I've grown since then. All right. So the National Guard is kind of heating up. So Evelyn has a recording of Logan and Henderson in a safety deposit box. And Evelyn's really hurting because she took that bullet, and her daughter's scared, and they can't keep her safe at a hospital, so they have to get a motel. And then Jack calls Audrey and tells her about Logan. It's also really cool because we get to see a lot of people reacting to the truth about Logan in these 2 episodes. Mm-hmm. A bunch of people, and it's interesting to see everybody's reaction when their whole world changes. Right, like everything changes when you find out the president has ordered the assassination of the previous president. I mean, not the previous president, but the president before. But yeah, so he says you can't trust anyone, so you can't trust anyone in CTU. And then after they get the recording, they need their father. Was this exciting, the return of another character, an old character? At least at first?
He was good.
Yeah, I was excited until we'll get to it, but then he disappointed me. But I was excited down the back. I felt really like, yeah, of course, that's who I would go to, too. Like, I can trust him. And then
it makes sense, and it was kind of exciting to get his returning, if you ask me.
Yeah, agreed.
I remember being like, "Oh, cool, makes sense." I wonder why. Sometimes I was like, "Why didn't they get him involved earlier?" But it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense at least to get him involved at some point. But they actually did get him involved the second they found out.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how much earlier.
But when they were suspicious of the vice president, but I guess he needed to figure out things.
Have some kind of proof, yeah.
So in the motel, Jack offers to clean Evelyn's wound, and she's like, "Nah, dude, go. Like, you need to take care of this." Like, she wants Logan to fry. Very obvious, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Logan and Henderson discuss Jack and their plan, and this is the first time when we just see them like completely discussing it, and we find out like how this all worked, right? Logan did not order the assassination of Palmer, but Henderson did, and it was at his.
Mm-hmm.
So who do you think is worse in this situation? Like
Logan.
How much of a villain do you think Logan really is? Like how much?
That was kind of like what I was thinking about though. Is like, okay, so he gets he gets pushed into the presidency 18 months ago, right?
Right.
That's how this all went down. And then, so at what point does the corruption start? Like, was it recently, or was it like when he was still the vice president, or when did it start? That was my biggest question.
Yeah, and also, like, just because you're gonna hide what you're doing over the cloak of I was trying to do the right thing or I'm trying to help the nation, that doesn't make what you did okay.
Right.
So I think it's like, that doesn't matter that you had all the best intentions at heart. You've been the cause of a lot of people's death, and you're still the cause of people's death. There's people that are literally in the midst of almost dying in this episode thanks to you, when you could put a stop to all of it. Like, the way Audrey ends up at the end of the episode, which we'll get to, like, she doesn't have to be in that condition, but it's your fault because now you're continuing to order things knowing that you already made a mistake. So I think he's the worst.
So also at the beginning, his plan wasn't a corruption and like trying to line his own pockets. He was trying to secure. You could see him when he talks to, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but when he talks to Heller, and he gives really good reasons to why he does the things he did. But that does not excuse all the cover-up, which is way worse. The cover-up is way worse, right? Like, Heller goes to him, and I know we're skipping ahead, but whatever, it's part of the conversation. Heller goes to him and says, resign.
Yeah.
Resign your office,
easy.
and that's it.
Yeah,
And
just basically acknowledge to me that you did something wrong and just leave.
And he can't do, like, you don't have to go to jail, dude.
Yeah.
You don't even have to go to prison. Like, all you have to do is
just not be president anymore.
Not be president anymore. And he couldn't accept that. Audrey had to go through what Audrey had to go through because he wouldn't accept that. The guy's daughter, and think of how pissed off Heller's gonna be. It's I mean, it is Heller's fault too. I mean, it's hard not to skip ahead, but it just is. Anyway, so another question I asked you last episode, and I'm gonna ask you again. What do we think about Karen Hayes?
Well, I mean, last. Go ahead.
Which one? Justin. Which one's Karen Hayes?
The head of CTU now.
CTU.
Oh, right. I think last time I said something along the lines of, she doesn't seem like she's not making important enough decisions, for it to like really matter what we think of her yet. That's something along those lines.
But there's a huge distinction between her and Miles, right?
Right.
This time, yeah. Well, I think that she knows something's not right, but like. It's one thing to know something's not right. This is a lot of questions of morals, this episode. Like, you know it's not right, and yet you do it. So, like, knowing it's not right is not enough. Like, she's like, oh, something's weird about this. Or, I mean, I guess she does call Mike to, like, tell him that she thinks it's weird. So she kind of takes a step. But I don't know. It's just, like, one of those things where she has the right gut feeling, and she needs to act on that. And it's, you know, I'm not going to take my people off of this job because I know something's not right about the situation, so we're going to do what we need to do to protect. Her job at the end of the day is to protect the United States.
In fairness, and she doesn't know that something terrible is going on.
She knows something's up.
She knows something's up, but she thinks it's weird. But sometimes, I think if you worked for the President of the United States, I don't think being confused and thinking something's weird is enough to turn on him. But they've clearly made it show that she is very actively thinking that something's up.
Yeah.
And she did seek out Mike Novick to discuss it with him, which is, you know, at this point, I think the best she can do at this point. I think if Jack had any idea if he was able just to go up to her right now and explain the story and show the evidence to her, I think that there would be a change in the way she was. I don't know if you guys agree.
Yeah.
She had like a hard time when Jack was right, you know. So I don't know. I think she just.
That's true.
Like even if she's wrong, she's
with
still
the wet list.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Karen Hayes questions them. She even says at the beginning, she's like, I don't even know if we should have taken over CT. And Miles is like, oh, they made a lot of mistakes here, and people have died. They couldn't even protect themselves. And she's like, honestly, do you think we could have done better?
Mm-hmm, that was good. That was. It was good to show that she realizes it's not like they were incompetent. This is a difficult situation.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's the homegrown.
I like that. Yeah.
So, I also want you guys to notice that Logan is shot completely differently now that we've seen him as a villain. He's shot a lot. Oftentimes, he's shot now from down up. So
I noticed. I was just gonna say that down up, and I don't even think I realized it until you said it.
Right. It was a lot of eye line shots, but now it's been the camera's been shown to show him more imposing. And there's also a lot of shots of water of the pool reflecting off of him and in the room. And that wasn't really shown before. And I think it's kind of to give it this this vibe of like a lair that he's in almost, right? Like a creepy kind of lair that he's in, as opposed to an office. So I think it's interesting, and he's often shown alone, but again, like I said, it is late night, but anybody that comes and talks to him, he doesn't want to talk to them. Even Martha comes to talk to him at one point, and he's like,
and he's like, bye.
Kind of don't want you around me, and she's like, come to bed. Seems like she wants to.
Yeah, it got a little weird.
No, I mean, like, look, like when you go through a hard day, like, sometimes it's best to just bang it out.
Every hard day needs a hard night, is what you're saying.
Oh gosh, you guys are terrible.
So he orders an executive order, ordering the apprehension of Jack Bauer. He's just skeptical, but she goes along with it. Police and military informed, and Miles says, because Miles, of course, immediately is like, yes, how can we take out one of the heroes of the show? Then he's like, if we want to catch Jack, we have to keep their eyes on Audrey. I have to say, for all the times Chloe and Audrey or whoever, or Michelle or whoever, has gone behind people's backs to help Jack, Miles is one that figured it out pretty quickly how to get him. Like he's been pretty good about it. He is. While I really think he's a caricature of a character, like ridiculously, like everything with the villains he's for and everything with the good people he's against. And it doesn't even show that he's like ambitious. It just shows him being a dick. Like, is he doing? If he's ambitious, he'd be trying to overtake Karen Hayes.
Right.
It doesn't even show him doing that.
Yeah.
It just shows him dicking people over. He'll even, like, later. Also, he goes to question Chloe. He's not even questioning her. He just goes and says, "Hey, you're gonna go to jail for a long time," and leaves. Why do you hate her so much, dude? Like, you've known her for like 2 hours, 3 hours. She did dick him over, like, and make a fool out of him like 7 times. Anyway, meanwhile, Audrey tells Chloe about Logan, and while she's explaining, the warrant issued for Jack comes on the screen. Doesn't this not seem very intimidating at this point? Where everybody's after Jack? Like, I don't know.
And like everybody's
seen the warrant. I don't know if intimidating is the right word, but it's like like, I don't know what the right word is. I guess it's like we're just more concerned with like what's about to happen than before.
I don't think we've ever seen this much of the world against Jack. Obviously, like, this is everybody, everything. And
like, what annoys me later is Logan tries to use the excuse like, well, if they knew that he was alive, then that could, put us in a bad position. Well, you're blasting out to the entire, like, anyone who's anybody that he's like,
that's what Novik exactly says to him too.
Yeah. Oh. Maybe I was thinking it that.
Yeah, Novik was like, well, wouldn't it be easier for CTU then to get him?
Oh, yeah, he said, like, he didn't say those exact words then. I was like, wait, did I miss that? But yeah. But that's the thing, is like, it's just stupid. Anyways, we can move on.
So
that's
Karen explains to Audrey that he has to be brought in. But Karen even admits it's weird. She's like, look, I admit it's weird, but I think it's in everyone's interest to bring him in peacefully.
Yeah, which, reasonable.
Fair. Yeah, that's a fair idea. I don't think she realizes his life is in danger.
Right.
Right. Or anybody's, or like, I don't, obviously she doesn't realize the extent of the situation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if a president could just order somebody arrested to an agency like this without explaining, especially when they're active.
We're probably about to find out. So
Jack arrives. Okay. We didn't know where this was going. What did you think about when it turned out that he was going to the manager of the bank's home and has to coerce him?
Oh, yeah.
I just don't get why they don't just go and have Wayne say, hey, I'm the brother of the assassinated president, the former White House chief of staff.
Yeah, and the guy is, like, super reasonable after he finds out why they're doing it.
Very
like,
reasonable.
It's kind of like, well, why didn't you tell me? Also, he met a very sad demise, right?
Yeah, he got killed.
And isn't he still sitting in the back of that police truck, or did they take him out? Like the police car that Jack stole, wasn't he there?
I
I
don't know.
I
don't think we saw him get out of it.
But dead. He just like leaves.
Yeah.
I just thought it was weird. I think we're jumping all over the place. Sorry, Dylan. I know there's a cadence and a rhyme and reason to this, but like it was kind of weird.
It's okay if I do it, but if other people do it, I jump all over them.
It was weird that he died, and they were just like, okay, he's dead, and then like he's in the back of the car, probably still sitting there, rotting away. I mean, he just died, so he's not rotting yet. But I just think that's
sure
like
he pushed
weird.
his body out of the car.
You think so?
No,
Just
that's worse.
drove off.
Yeah,
I just thought that was a little strange. I guess, I mean, maybe it's not so strange. There's so much going on right now, but poor guy. Like, he was, at the end of the day, was down to help. He also
that guy was so cool. He was a really
yeah, he was cool. And also, he was like,
him.
He was like, it would be worse if I stayed here because they'll just blah, 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 whatever. No, like, lock yourself in the vault. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Am I crazy? That's what I would do.
Also, especially because the police come and the military come and takes all those people out, he would have been fine. Especially because think about it, that the wife got tied up, and then he got taken by Jack and Wayne to go rob the bank, and then her husband ended up dead.
Yeah, that's not a good look, Jack.
Not a good look at all. That's I don't know how you could be like, oh, there was extenuating circumstances.
Right.
For that. The guy's dead. Anyway, I think it's mean-spirited. I just think the guy, it spent so much time showing the guy is cool. I just don't think we gained anything.
We needed him to die, right?
Like, yeah, I don't think this show, like, when I saw that, I wasn't like, oh, man, I like that guy. I was like, come on, guys, why'd you have to kill him?
Yeah, was that necessary?
Yeah.
Like, couldn't we just let him get away?
Yeah, it had every reason to. But we talked about this before, how they'll kill all those people that you don't want them to get killed.
Yeah. And then spare, like, those random couple that was in the mountains or whatever.
Let them get killed. I mean, we were glad about them surviving, but I would rather this guy survived. I liked him better.
Yeah, he was really cool. Although they were pretty cool, too, because they did everything they could.
Yeah,
so.
they were cool. Yeah. But this is, what have they done for me lately? So if they haven't done anything, let them die and then let this guy survive. Anyway, Heller's called. And Audrey tells him Jack is being set up, and it's extremely important to meet with him. He's an hour away on plane and hasn't rerouted. Where the fuck is he flying right now? An hour away from LA.
That he can reroute to Van Nuys.
Yeah. Flying to Arizona? Is he going to Vegas?
Maybe Vegas. Maybe he's coming from the north and headed to like Arizona or Vegas.
The king of the north.
Yeah, King of the North. He's the King of the North. Got it. And then, I mean, maybe. I don't know.
So he has it rerouted and tells the pilot to keep it off the manifest. Okay, that was a great line of dialogue to explain how Logan didn't know he was coming there. But it's martial law in LA. You can't just land a plane without it going up the correct channels.
It's not on the manifest.
Yeah, but we're not on the manifest.
Like, planes are tracked, and during martial law, there's no way that planes... Also, when they got to Van Nuys Airport, there's no police presence there or any security at Van Nuys Airport right now.
Yeah, and that hangar room is just unlocked and open?
Yeah.
Is that how that works?
Well, there's no security because there's martial law, right?
Let's walk into this room that just happens to be open. Like, what?
So, they, you know how they put the transponder in Audrey's car... But and then you're thinking the whole time, ah, damn it, she's getting burned. Then she parks at the gas station, and Chloe helps her find it. Pretty good thinking, Chloe. Am I right or am I right? Or am I right? Or am I right?
Chloe's the quickest. She comes with that quickness.
I mean, I will give you that. She's the quickness who comes with that quickness. I'll give you that.
Chloe's the quickest. She comes with the quickness.
I'll give you that. I'll agree.
And then she puts it on a truck, which is really smart. I think it's magnet-based, if to stick on a truck.
Yeah, because that was pretty easy to take off and put on.
So anyway, the vice president arrives to talk to Logan, and Pierce overhears it, but then Logan dismisses Pierce, and Gardner wonders why the warrant was issued. And Gardner says Jack should be treated like a hero, and Logan's very snippy with him. With all due respect, I'm the president. Like, he pulls that on everybody he interacts with. Right?
I mean, wouldn't you?
I guess, but it reminds me of Lynn McGill, to be honest.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, where he tells people his level of authority instead of exerting it.
Yeah.
Unlike, kind of like somebody I know in real life, of power who knows how important they are instead of showing it, and shows how unimportant they are at all the turns. Anyway, Evelyn falls asleep. I was talking about our current president. Evelyn falls asleep, leaving Amy crying.
Now I'm with you.
And and then she gets up to help, but collapses, and Amy instinctually calls 911. What did you guys think?
I thought, wow, I learned a lesson here. If I have a daughter, I need to let her know when there is a situation where we're hiding out, do not give them my full name and my real name.
Or do not call 911. She should have said, listen, do not call 911. She could have said,
I would have been fine with my daughter calling 911, but you could say any name at that point, just to get them to get
when they
there.
Get there, they're going to identify her. He put...
Does she have any identification on her?
He put out the wound and her what's it called? Her description. They would have found her. Maybe not as quickly, but they would have found her the same. And Jack didn't come back. It's not like Jack ever said, "Hey, we got to go back to get Evelyn." At one point, ever. I mean, he was a little tied up. I'm here all week, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I get it, because he was physically tied up.
So,
and you meant like situationally tied up as well.
Henderson gets a heads up about the motel immediately. Martha comes to commends Logan to Pierce, and he agrees, but you can tell that he doesn't agree. But he's just a pro. Jack and Wayne and the bank manager have to go a quarter mile on foot, and then Pierce calls him, informing him the warrant, and Jack's like, "Oh, that makes sense." And then Pierce figures out it's Logan, and Jack's like, "Yeah." What do you guys think? This is kind of a Kingslayer situation, right?
Yeah, because Pierce is the homie.
Yeah, he's Secret Service though. His job is to protect the president.
Yeah, no, Kingslayer, soon to be Queenslayer, in my opinion, but
yeah. So like, I don't know like about the odds of him taking upon himself to investigate the president being shady. I don't know if that's appropriate for a member of Secret Service, the head of the presidential.
Yeah, anyway. But like, if the president is responsible for terrorist attacks, you don't think that they can just go for it?
No.
I mean, I have no idea how the political system works.
I think it's like the Kingsguard. We need more Game of Thrones references. So anyway, so CTU find out that Audrey bailed the transponder, and they're like, "Damn it!" Jack and Wayne arrive at the bank, and the bank manager is very cooperative. And then he recognizes Wayne, which I don't know how he didn't do immediately. He's the brother of the president. I mean, I don't know. I guess.
I'm going to say something that I don't intend to be racist, but it was dark out.
No.
So it's possible that he just didn't recognize him because it was dark out.
No, so you're saying anybody he wouldn't be able to recognize?
Anybody he wouldn't have been able to recognize because of the time of day.
So when he was in his bedroom with the lights all on, you think?
Oh shit! I didn't realize. I forgot about that.
So anyway, he
just wasn't sure. Maybe he was trying to not be racist.
He questions. So he questions him, and Wayne tells him, and then he seems to go along with it. Wayne tells him the truth. He's like, "Oh, this is information on my brother." And he's like, "Trust me, you do not want to know. You're not safer by knowing." Evelyn wakes up to paramedics, and Henderson arrives immediately, killing the paramedics. And
which, there you go, Logan. More deaths on your black... Oops.
What, were you about to say your black ass?
No, I shouldn't say back, but I
thought you were gonna say something like...
No, I'm just saying Logan is a bad guy. There's more deaths on his back.
Okay.
And he says, "Where's Bauer?" And Amy screams. This is the last time we saw them, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A couple minutes later, we see him driving the car, saying that she gave up Bauer and his location.
At what cost?
At what cost, indeed.
So what happened to them, guys?
Rip.
I don't know. I don't think he killed him. You think he killed him?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's messed up.
I think... I mean, you guys aren't going to believe me, but we never hear from them again. I 100% think he killed him. And never specified.
They know too much.
They know everything. She recorded it too.
Yeah.
So that means he killed Evelyn and her daughter. That's Christopher Henderson for you. I honestly think it should have shown it. I think that would have. I mean, it's not like we need more.
Yeah, too morbid, probably.
I think
mom and her daughter.
I think he could have shown him like pointing the gun and saying, "Where's Bauer?" and she didn't answer. He points to the daughter and she says where he is, and he goes, "Thank you," and it just shows the gun. Like the tip of the gun, and then the gunfire, and then it splits screens. But he had to have killed them. He had to have. Which I think is up. But she kind of gets bruised. She's in the Bruise Club. One of the people we never find out what happened to them. But you guys don't have to believe me. So Martha's very congratulative of Logan for what he did. Even gives him a little smoochy.
Little smooch.
She's really forgiven him, has she not?
Yeah. Like, he was willing to let you die. Don't forget that.
He seems to have forgotten.
That was a couple hours ago, okay? Like, we already forgot.
I have to say, Mrs. Logan. God bless her.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say she's decent. I was gonna say yes, sir.
I'll get to that. She is a little bit of a snoot in these 2 episodes.
Yeah, she's trying to bounce around from
A
a little bit of that Pierce booty, a little bit of that.
You saw her directly, use her sexual appeal, which she has lots of, to get Aaron Pierce to give her information.
Oh, so good.
You saw that, right? Like, that's undeniable.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
yeah.
She has to do what she has to do.
I mean, I'm not 100% sure if like Aaron Pierce was really vibing that, or if he just like,
I don't think he is.
But, I think he is,
maybe.
guys. I think he is because it worked. He's
you
like,
think he is?
I can't tell you. And she's like, just please, whatever you can do.
Don't talk like that.
It's between us. And then he's like, all right, I'll tell you, but not here. Anyway, next time that we need somebody to do a sexy voice, it's going to be Christine.
No.
Look forward to it.
No.
Yeah.
You're going to read the phone book very sexy. So anyway, so the bank manager also compliments Palmer, saying, your brother's a good man. Clearly a Palmer voter. Did not seem like I wouldn't say a Logan voter because Logan wasn't on top of the ticket, but doesn't seem like a Keeler voter. Seemed like a Palmer voter.
I feel that.
There you go.
What do you guys think?
Justin already thought.
Who do you think he voted for, Christina?
I think he voted for not Palmer.
You don't think he voted for Palmer?
No.
Complimenting him the way he did right there, and he lives in LA also, which is a very Democratic area.
I thought Palmer ran as a Republican.
Oh. No. Why'd you say it like that? Like, that's impossible.
It said the Democratic National Convention in the first.
You got away with that. You're lucky.
Guys, I think it's clear who the Democrat was and who was the Republican. I mean, I'm not registered to either party, so I'm not sitting here being like, I'm a Democrat or anything like that. I'm just saying it's pretty clear who was the Democrat and who's the Republican. for multiple reasons. I'm sure somebody listened. I completely disagree. And that's fine, dude, but you're wrong, man, and you're insane.
So you're also high.
Right then, Audrey's located on satellite by CTU, and Sherry notices and tells Chloe. That's twice she's been helpful.
Always.
Think Sherry's helpful, Justin? It's Kate Mara.
I think she but she was
like,
accidentally helpful.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know, like she's a character that I like want to love because I love her, but like she's just kind of sucks. She
really sucks.
Yeah. So like that's why it's hard.
Kate Mara does such a terrible job in this role too. She's doing terrible. And I remember when I saw her cast in something else, for the first time. It was probably House of Cards. After this, being like, kind of being like, I thought she kind of sucked. She didn't come off as a good actress to me at all in 24. And then I kind of forgot about that over the years because she's improved. And watching this back, I'm like, holy shit, she's bad. She is not good in this at all. Like,
I don't know if it's the role or if it's the character. I don't think the role is necessarily that bad. I think like I'm supposed to dislike the character.
I think the character is terrible, but I think somebody else could do a better job as that character.
Maybe.
Or somebody just could have had different training toward what they're looking for because, it's cringe. It's cringe. Anyway, you could tell that they weren't sure if they were going to make her a regular, like what they were going to do with her, like as a character at this point. They were like,
what are they going to do with her?
I guess you have to wait and find out, won't you? So anyway, Jack,
what was that for?
So we find out why Palmer was in a melancholy mood, right? Right.
Why Palmer was in a melancholy mood?
Yeah, remember at the beginning he was like, I'm in a melancholy mood. I've been writing my memoirs. Has me in a melancholy mood. If there's something, you can tell me if something's up. It's because he knew that. And then remember before that, he looked at a newspaper that said President Logan is signing the Russian arms He's treated too.
Oh, yeah. So then he knew this was all going down.
Okay.
I thought you meant Brother Palmer, first of all. I was like,
sorry.
wait, what? Like, obviously, he's in a melancholy mood.
No, you could find out why before he was shot in the throat.
I see. I'm with you.
He was in melancholy. I think he'd be more in melancholy mood after the being shot in the throat thing. Who knows?
He'd also, be more in a mood after getting killed?
Yeah. I mean, after a bullet in the throat.
I mean, I don't know.
Me in a bad mood. I don't know about you.
I don't know.
In the tape, Logan also says, I'm just trying to keep this thing collapsing like a house of cards.
Get it? And then, maybe this is one of those like extended universe kind of shows.
Check it out.
Yeah. Check
it out on Netflix. Season 5 available to stream now. But anyway, Jack notices people outside, and then he starts planning. He gets a couple of the men, goes back in, and says, "Trigger the alarm." Do you like how he's so freaking resourceful? He's like, "Trigger the alarm. You'll use a diversion and slip out." It's pretty smart, right?
Yeah. Honestly,
I didn't think that. I didn't think about that.
That's what I was thinking.
What?
I swear, I was like, why don't we just get the cops here? Like, you guys are gonna be able to get the cops here, and then that's exactly what I was thinking.
So my question is always, anytime this kind of street fight happens, where there's like good guys and bad guys shooting each other, they're all dressed very similarly. Obviously, Jack's not in any sort of uniform. So how do like the cops know that they need to be shooting at the bad guys instead of shooting at Jack?
It's because Jack's not shooting at them, and the other guys are shooting.
But like sometimes Jack's just like running, Like how do they not know that like Jack's just like getting in position to like shoot at them?
I mean, I think it's circumstantial.
You're baffled.
No, it's just, I can't just give a blanket statement for it. I could describe each situation, and maybe there's some times that it's right, but I'm sure it's easily explainable in many of the situations. Who knows?
Fair enough.
He has been wearing the same clothes all day, and so has Chloe. By the way,
yeah, I noticed that for some reason in this episode, her little sweater really stood out to me.
It's because when she took it off, and you were like, "Oh, this little grandma sweater you're wearing." She not took the sweater off. I'm sorry. She took off her jacket she was wearing over it. It was like, "Wow, you've really been wearing that." I thought at the exact same time you did. I guarantee.
Yeah.
So anyway, I love the James Bond score in this episode. Both these episodes.
I was gonna say all the music was very like different. I felt
what's crazy is like and normally when I watch like TV and movies, like the music is the first thing that I like recognize or like think about. But like for some reason, this show I never think about it and I never like really hear it. I don't know why.
Huh. It was really noticeable.
Did you hear it in this one because it was like dun 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 dun.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't like. It's not memorable for some reason.
It reminded me of what's that movie? Is it the Mexican? The one with.
Oh come on! That is Christina. That is racist.
No, you guys. It is a movie.
God. His name is Javier Bardem. Like, are you kidding me? That's unacceptable.
That is what it's called. Isn't that what it's called?
Oh, the movie title?
I'm sorry, I thought you were what I'm talking about?
Yes. And Javier Bardem is Spanish. I'm the one that's just... Anyway, yes. I don't remember the score of that movie, though. But it just reminds me of James Bond, to be honest. It really just like... It
reminded me of a mixture of the two. Sure. Like a Mexican James Bond.
Anyway, so I love... You
guys know what I mean.
So Chloe jams the satellite. Miles scrambles to find her, and she pretends she was the bathroom. This was a funny scene. I know Justin won't admit it, but this was funny. Yeah. How he comes up to her, Miles says, "What were you doing?" And she plays it off well.
Yeah, she did.
He's like,
what did she say? Like, are you serious?
Like, what?
Yeah,
he's like, what were you doing?
And she's like, I'll write your report.
Are you kidding? If you want the details, I'll write your report. Basically saying she was dropping dookies.
She was on that deuce drop.
She's on that deuce drop tip. I think she had Chipotle earlier that day, so she could have given a very deep.
I'm trying to get Chipotle right now.
You had to go there.
And have that corn in the stool. Anyway,
cops
arrive at the bank, and they have, it's very funny. Henderson's like, take them alive too. We can't let them take the tank or the tape either. Kill all the cops. All these people dying to save Logan's ass.
That's what I'm saying. Like, come on. At some point.
And what's it called? Jack slips out with Palmer and the bank manager, and he gets a couple people. He kills 3 people in total, and the National Guard arrive and takes out Henderson's men completely. And then before Jack gets the cop car, the bank manager gets hit and he dies. Sad face.
Rip.
Heller's in the split screen, and they have to meet in 15 minutes. Audrey gets a call from Jack. He's like, Audrey, you know what this means? We're talking about taking down the President of the United States. Beep, 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 beep. telling you, when you had to wait a week, that was disappointing because I was like, I know that already. I want a twist on every episode.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I think the fact that he said, if he would have said we have to take down the president, I would have like been way more okay with the way that line was delivered. But I think I like scoffed when he said we have to take down the president of the United States.
I think the president of the United States saying that is more because he's explaining the history of what they're doing.
Sure.
Like so it makes more sense that he's saying the president of the United States than if he said the president. I think I don't know. I think that if he was the president, it would be more like a offhand comment, like, "Oh, we have to take out the president." But he was like, "As we're doing, we have to go down his history of the people that are taking down the president of the United States."
Sure. Okay.
Episode 518 aired on April 18th, 2006. It's from 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. Those party animals out there still at the bar. Hasn't been last call yet. Last call's happening a half hour after this, so people are still at the bar right now. Oh no, they're not because of martial law. So they came home. They're partying at home. They're not requesting an Uber. Stuck where they are, huh?
They're stuck. Maybe well, yeah, I guess so. But that'd be dope. Imagine getting stuck in a bar.
Oh yeah, there's I think you have to evacuate and go to different places. But they also didn't show any civil unrest when trying to maintain martial law. Didn't show any of it.
That's what I thought was interesting because he was like so against the idea, and it's because of something like that, and nothing. There's nothing. Everything's calm.
Everything's what, Christina?
Calm.
Hey, since the sun is setting right now, I turn on the light. Okay. Hi.
Hello, welcome back.
You guys. So, what's it called? Logan is pretty perturbed when he finds out that Jack has the tape. He's like, have you ever noticed that Logan, whenever something doesn't go the way he thought it would, he's like, you said you'd be able to do that.
Yeah.
He's constantly like pushing the blame onto other people.
Yeah, I think it's so funny, or like get a handle on it now.
Yes.
But it's like, obviously it's not that easy.
Oh, we're trying, bro. You think that, you think you're
We're
helping?
just killing people left and right.
Right. So Miles is like, we can use Chloe to find Jack. And then
Convenient.
Jack in a dark alley waits for someone's arrival. Who is it?
Jack and his boy.
Bill Buchanan.
Buchanan. I knew that wasn't the last we were seeing of Buchanan this season.
Yeah,
he's
no
too
way.
valuable.
I have to say that the trailer for this episode was so exciting because it ended with we have to take down the president of the United States, and we're like, that kind of sucks. But then it's like the next episode 24, and it shows Bill in it, and we're like, oh, Bill's gonna be back. And then it shows a couple other things, and then it shows it ends with showing what's his name, Heller, talking to Logan and saying, I know what you're doing, and I'm here to put an end to it. And that was
so you don't know if he did the right thing or the wrong thing.
Right. We didn't know how it happened, but we knew that there was going to be a confrontation between Heller and Logan in the next episode. We were like, oh, my face was melting from excitement. And that explains the physical difference for me.
In your face?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I've noticed those.
So, anyway, so yeah, it's Evan Bill's like, he's like, what's going on, Jack? And he tells him about Logan. And I love how there's like a pause, and he looks over at Wayne, and he looks back at Jack, and he's like, by God, you're serious. Like, oh, you're just joking. Oh my God, you're serious. Like, I love how that's his reaction. When he just realizes the severity, he gives a better reaction, I think, than anybody. Because he's like stunned for a second. He's like, oh my God. Because also, he wasn't even there for the suspicion about the vice president. So this is really shocking for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jack has Bill take Wayne somewhere safe. He's like, could you somewhere safe? I need to get out of here. And he's like, yeah, no problem. And then he, without even saying goodbye, hops in the car and he's already peeling out. Like, he peels out like immediately. He's like, is that okay? Yes. Within 3 seconds, he was already gone. Like, he's just out. And he takes out to meet Audrey and Heller, whose plane had just landed. And Audrey asks do you trust this man? He's like, implicitly, with my life. She's like, are you sure? And he's like, what's going on? Well, I also like how she was like, hey, thanks for helping me. And he's like, I haven't helped you yet. That's not what's going on. And then out of nowhere, Jack peels out on the runway. So that means Jack was literally just a couple minutes away.
Yeah.
He was really close. And they never deal with traffic on this show, which everybody discusses all the time. But yeah. Anyway. And yeah, again, the airport's not guarded. You're like, the hangar is just open. Whatever. This is the Van Nuys Airport. It's a busy airport. It's not LAX, but it's a busy airport.
Yeah.
Small airport. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been there.
I have not been there.
Pretty decent airport.
I have been to Ontario Airport, which is why I was so excited about that at the beginning of the season. But
nice.
That's neither here nor there.
Just tell us about that.
The Ontario Airport?
Yeah, tell us about
If you're looking to fly out of an airport and you don't want it to be too crazy, you don't want to take too long to get through the airport terminal, that's a good option. However, be very, very, very careful when you book your flight back. I once went on a trip, and the group that I was on a trip with, it was from college. They booked my flight back to ONT, CA. Do you know where I was headed?
Canada, baby.
Ontario, Canada. Not Ontario, California. So make sure you know what you're booking. I ended up, we cut it before I had to actually leave.
Do you have
I
any food recommendations in Ontario, Canada?
Ontario, I did not make it there. But it's funny. Now it's Ontario Airport. It's like an extension of LAX, so you're not going to have that same problem because it'll say LAX on it. But before it said LAX, before it was part of that same group, there was definitely mistakes being made. I thought it was hilarious.
Very cool.
So yeah, that's what I know about the Ontario Airport. You're welcome.
Thanks, Tina.
You're welcome.
So Heller is hostile to seeing Jack, and he's like, I don't get why you're acting like a criminal. And he's like, I have no choice. I'm being set up. And he takes him inside and he plays him the tape. And Heller, I like how Heller's like, I'm not surprised. I saw Charles Logan rise at the tide of his own ambition. I was terrified when he took it.
That was good.
He probably, but he had to have probably supported him as a vice president, though, to Keeler. And he's a part of the cabinet for Keeler, but he was concerned about the vice president, whatever. It's fine. Jack says he needed someone who he could trust to give it to the attorney general. Hands it over. And then he tells Audrey to go with him. And then Jack says he'll go dark until they talk to the attorney general. And she says, what does she say, Christina?
Oh, no. I don't know.
She said, Jack, everything's going to be okay now.
Oh, I'm supposed to remember that? Her pathetic, kissing Jack's ass?
Yeah, not his ass, but kissing his
But it's
lips.
mouth.
Literally.
And then saying the line, the famous last words, everything's going to be okay now.
And then what?
And then what happens? Comes back in, and I know her throat chops him.
Throat punches
chop,
him.
Chop, chop, chop.
You're playing a dangerous game here, Jack, and you're playing it wrong. And he said he can't turn into a public spectacle. It would tear the nation apart. And he says he'll use this to get Logan to step down, hands the evidence to one of the security detail, and leave. Jack, on his way out, finally with the ability to speak, says, Mr. Secretary, you can't make a deal with him. You can't trust him. This is a great delivered line, especially how he delivered it, like his throat was all scratchy, like he was recovering from a throat punch.
Like he just got punched in the throat. Yeah.
Right.
But what's funny is, of all the things I would try and do to take out Jack, throat chop wasn't one of them. But now I know. I
think that's the best. That was a great.
I mean, a surprise throat chop would take out.
Yeah, from someone that you trust.
I'll try it next time Justin and I are together at one point.
Okay, let me know how it goes.
Why is Jack always right? He's 100% right at this. And I remember thinking, hey, that's not that bad of an idea until he screamed out, you can't trust him. And I was like, oh, well, I got to listen to Jack. So obviously this isn't going to work out. It was also important that he couldn't talk during that. When he got the throat. That's why the throat chop was so important also, that he couldn't speak and argue. Because we know how Jack can argue. This guy in one sentence can, talk a woman wearing white gloves into a ketchup popsicle. Man.
I didn't know where you were going to go with that.
Yep, well, you found out.
He went ketchup popsicle.
He said, talk a woman, and I was like, oh, no. Talk a woman into what? But
didn't go there, did it?
Nope, and then I just made it go there.
Now you made it worse, Tina.
Christina's kind of a sexist, if you ask me. But anyway.
I think so, too.
So, Chloe was kept out of a meeting. When Sherry comes out, Chloe pushes her for info, and she's being monitored. She doesn't realize, and Kate Mara is so awful. She's like, please, don't tell anybody that I told you. Cringe. Yeah,
I was actually pretty mad at Chloe for falling right into this trap too. I thought it was a little silly.
I could see why she did though, to be honest, but
yeah, especially because she didn't think that would be the person that they would be going to for help because they have their beef and their previous issues. But I don't know, didn't like it.
So Chloe rushes to contact her, calls a payphone at the Van Nuys Airport. Chloe making this call ruins everything.
Right.
She puts the whole situation wouldn't have gone down the way it did, and Logan would have resigned. if she had made that.
It's too bad. Like I feel like she had to have known like that was gonna cause a problem, but at that point, but
they track it immediately. They call Logan. Chloe gets arrested. Logan says to withdraw the CTU attack teams and he'll handle it himself. Aaron is so confused, and Miles defends it again. He defends every bad guy decision and is hostile to every good guy decision. Jack and Audrey are shackled, and see, this is why I said it was important that his throat was chopped, because she says, "What if my father was right?" And he's like, "These people brokered a deal with Russian terrorists. They've already killed an ex-president. Logan won't make a deal with them, and if he did, he wouldn't keep it. Henderson won't let him. The only thing your father is doing is making himself a target."
Damn.
Pretty good argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. How about this? I have a question. If Heller was able to get him to step down, do you think Jack would have walked away from Logan without him going?
No.
Right.
Yeah, not gonna happen. Especially with Palmer, no.
So Heller would have to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
If he wants him to keep his mouth shut. Anyway, Aaron calls Novik like we talked about, and who knows nothing about it, but he said to look into it because he's been dealing with other stuff. Garner doesn't know either, and then Novik calls the military police, finds out they're not working on it either. So he confronts Logan,
fishy.
who responds angrily, and he's like, "I don't answer to you. I'm the president of the United States." Same thing he said to Gardner, same thing he said to Heller, same thing he said to Pierce, same thing he said to just Martha Logan, some guy passing in the hallway.
Yeah.
Some guy passing in the hallway, and he's like, "Excuse me, I'm the president of the United States.
Don't pass me in this hallway.
Don't pass this hallway without giving money." I don't know. Anyway, so he continues to ask questions, and Logan says he's concerned with the Chinese government, so he's using a covert task force. Miles goes and questions Chloe, and again, seemingly just does it to rub her in her face. Doesn't get any information, doesn't try to get information, but she sneaks his key card.
Yeah, that was funny.
No.
And
Not smooth at all.
She uses it to immediately escape. I like how she's like, "I don't think you're as big of a jerk as you think you are," or something. And then she snags her laptop, and Sherry sees her escaping because Sherry just happens to be right there in the exit hallway, not in the whatever.
Not in the main hallway.
Yeah. And then Chloe uses her fake sexual harassment charges to blackmail her. Cringe.
Yeah. You have a problem.
And she also told her about Logan. Do you think she was going to knock her out or something?
I thought she was going to go aggressive, yeah.
Yeah, so did I. I was thinking she was going to do. But she's no Jack Bauer, you feel me?
Yeah, I mean, I thought she kind of was at the beginning of the season, so that's why.
I don't know physically, though. Maybe she had a gun.
Yeah, maybe, but that would
riddled her with bullets. Anyway, Heller calls Logan and tells him, "Hey, I'm going to come meet you." And he's like, "I don't like your tone, James. Remember, you're addressing the president of the United States." And he says, I know who I'm addressing, and I think you know exactly what this is." Ooh, Pacoo.
Ooh, indeed.
When I was a kid, one of my friends had a Pacoo fish. And when he got it, we started saying, "Ooh, Pacoo." So that's something still stuck with me. Logan calls Henderson, and they're planning to get the recording back before making an agreements with him. Pierce and Martha says, she gets all close up to him.
That's so weird.
In his face and says, "Aaron, I won't tell anybody. Tell me." Mm-hmm.
So weird. This has got an X-ray. This is the after hours version. Going
24 after hours.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! I'll be back. Let me know when this is over.
And he says, he says he can't tell her anything, and then she starts flirting with him. He says he'll meet her outside. We haven't even talked about this, guys.
Yeah, where is he?
Heller confronts Logan very directly, and Logan explains himself. It's all about oil. And he says, "You think that justifies the blood in your hands?" And he's like, "What do you want?" And he's like, "Drop the charges against Jack, resign, and that's it. Calling Garner, I want to see him hand over his letter of resignation." Chloe arrives at Bill's pad. It's a nice place, very tidy.
He's had a couple hours to clean up.
Christina, what's Bill's backstory?
Bill's wife recently got
remember, he was trying to date. He was trying to date.
Right. That's what I'm going. That's where I'm going. Stick with me here. Bill's wife. So this is what you don't know, Dylan. Recently got plastic surgery, and she felt like she was too big for her britches. She was looking good. She was ready to move on. So she actually left for a younger man. So since then, Bill has been single, but he technically is still married. They're in divorce proceedings as we speak.
Got it. I think you're going to say that she got plastic surgery to make her look more like Michelle Dessler.
I mean, that's what all
That's how
women
it
should be
started.
doing.
That's how it started. No, she left him. Basically, long story short, she left him. And that's why his house is clean, too, because he's always bringing ladies in the pad.
Got it.
Got to keep it tidy.
That's why my house is a mess. I'm never bringing ladies to the pad.
He's using Tinder a lot, you think?
Yeah.
Got it. So Martha goes to the meeting place for Aaron. His phone's is there, but he's not. What does that mean, guys? What does it mean?
How did someone get the drop on him?
Had someone drop on him. So Jack shimmies up to a hot pipe and melts the restraints. You know how painful that would be?
that was funny. And the way you said it, too, shimmies up. Like, Jack, what can this man not do?
And then, of course, there's a tool in there to cut Audrey out. That left in there.
Yeah, so convenient. Also, like, within hands, like, it wasn't even like he had to find it. It was just, like, sitting there.
Yeah. It was, like, within arm's reach. You could just grab that from the beginning. So then Jack secures the recorded information from Heller's guy, and then Henderson helicopter arrives because he has unlimited people. And then they have to work together, and then Jack kills a lot of people. He kills 4 people here in this whole thing. Henderson runs in after Audrey and gets her and says he'll give him the recording if he releases Audrey. And then when he grabbed her, what did you think was happening, guys? What was going on in your head?
I don't know. I thought, first of all, Audrey was going to die.
Were you scared?
Like, I thought he was... Yeah, I was, like, worried that he
just wasn't thought exactly what was happening. I don't know.
Really?
You thought that he was going to cut the artery?
Yeah, no, I thought for sure that, like, she was... I don't know where she was going to get cut, but I thought, like, he was doing something to, like...
Kind of similar to what Jack did to his wife.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Jack, like, basically the same thing.
He wasn't doing that to get revenge, though, right? He was doing that to leave Jack at bay.
Force a move.
Yeah, to leave... So, because also, when he takes off, he fires a gun as a cover, and she screams thinking she's getting shot, and we're afraid she's getting shot, but he was just giving him cover fire and slipping out the back, and then knowing that Jack was going to stay to help her instead of... If he killed her, then Jack would have just chased him.
Right. True. Smart.
So, yeah, he cuts his arm. She has 3 minutes to bleed out. He takes off with the recording.
Which is not a long time. Not a long time.
And then he keeps her alive to keep Jack from chasing him. And then Jack applies a tourniquet on her. Very intense fuel line from a little, what's it called? A tractor.
Fuel line thing.
What's those called? Like in offices. Like a Big Joe, as some people call it in the business. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, Heller
Big Joe, that's
forklift.
What it is.
Forklift is what I'm thinking. Forklift.
Oh, I thought you were talking about masking tape.
Nope.
What?
Heller gives Logan the letter to sign, and there must be something you want. You're giving me exactly what. And then Gardner walks in, and before he signs it, what happens? Christina Vanderslides
gets that call. Changes the game.
And Logan
switches it up.
He switches it up.
Although this probably wasn't the best move still. Because you see the vice president's kind of like, what the hell is going on?
Right.
And so it's like, and that's why I think Logan at the end of the scene kind of looks at him and then he looks down like, oh crap. It's like almost, did I say too much?
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe they should both be, he just has them both assassinated.
Yeah, maybe.
So Logan immediately says he's looking for Heller's resignation. Heller's shocked. And explains the truth, and Gardner's stunned, and he's like, I have evidence. He's like, where's your evidence? And he's like, I don't have it with me, per se. And he's like, yeah, it doesn't exist. And then he makes a face to him like, I have your evidence.
Yeah.
And that's when Heller realizes that if any harm comes to my daughter, and then he has the Secret Service escort him out. But not Aaron Pierce. And then beep, 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 beep. The season's heating up. Are the stakes higher than they've ever been on the show?
The stakes are indeed higher.
Right.
My question is like, is like too much? Like, so we have 6 episodes left of the season.
Yeah.
Is there too much left to deal with?
No, I mean, there are too many bad things happening. Like, there's no. What resolutions have we had in the season so far? Like, not a ton. You know.
We've at least found out who was responsible for the events.
Yeah. So
and
I don't know.
They stopped the nerve gas. There's no more nerve gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Ontario airport thing got under control.
And Lynn McGill got killed. Thank God, R.I.P.
Right.
And at least we know who our enemies are. At least our enemies.
At least we think we know all of them. I think we know all of them too. It's kind of late in the game to bring a new enemy.
Oh wow!
But you can bring an enemy. You just can't bring an enemy.
Guys, it is tough talking English.
Anemone.
So, dare I ask? Do you guys have predictions?
Oh.
So Pierce is gonna do something big. He's gonna make a big boy, big baller move.
Yeah, he needs to come out strong because you've been talking about this man for a long time, and he's done some good stuff. But I feel like this is his moment.
It's gonna be a moment
right about
sure.
now.
Yeah, big baller move.
Yeah, guns ablazing.
Big baller brand, Lonzo Ball.
And maybe we'll get a little bit of Kim back in too. Hopefully.
No, we're not seeing her again this season.
A little bit of Kim and Kate Mara. Loved interest.
Yeah, I'm glad Kim was finally replaced with Kate Mara. What's gonna happen with Heller, guys? Where's he? What's he in situation in?
Homeboy's going down.
What is Jack gonna do?
Because right now, Heller's still stuck in the compound.
I got it.
He's still in danger.
Eureka. I think that CTU homegirl, what's her name? Harris? I think she's... Oh.
Close.
Yeah, close enough. That's fine.
I gave her a nickname. I think she's good. Okay, she knows something's weird. I think she's going to bring her guys back. They're going to get over to the hangar. They're going to see Jack and Audrey. They're going to help save Audrey's life. Then Jack's going to tell them what's going down, and then they're all going to work back in the direction of getting to the real problem and solving it. That's what I think is going to happen.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Do you think Jack's going to be sitting around long enough for Karen Hayes to figure it out and send a tag team over to the airport hangar?
No, I think she's already onto it, and I think she's already going to send her team.
What's already? Is the word already or already?
It's a different way of pronouncing the word. You have to be down with it, Dylan, and obviously you're not.
Guys, is that like Riverside? Is that like Riverside slang?
Yeah. Exactly.
Anyway, Justin, any predictions?
I would say my prediction was our boy Pierce is going to come in hot. They're going to have some heroic moments.
You think Pierce is in danger?
No.
You don't think he's in danger?
No.
His phone is there, but he's not.
But is it a decoy?
I think he's got that plot armor though.
It's a decoy, maybe. Maybe he dropped his phone to.
Isn't it funny that she had his phone number in her phone like that? Isn't that kind of weird?
Why is that weird? No, he's part of the. No, he saved your life earlier.
Yeah, they're friends.
If somebody saved my life, I'd
get a little more
number.
than friends these days because somebody's trying to dip the pen in the company ink. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
gosh. Anyway, is that because he's employed by them?
Anyway, thank you for all the people that listened along and joined the chat. Christina, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on the internet at K_Vanderslice on Twitter and at K_Vanderslice on Instagram.
I think most of the listeners already followed you.
Yeah.
Already
being.
Did you already follow me?
Already.
That's what I'm saying. They know what that means.
Justin, where can people find you on the internet?
I'm on the internet at ShucksEarthSUK, at Justin B. Moreno on Twitter and on Instagram.
You can follow me at Chuckster, SCHUCKSTER. Check out the Deuce Drop. At least look at the trailer for this.
I don't want to see it.
Just listen to the podcast. Not very long. It's only like a half-hour episode, or a half-hour, maybe 40-minute long episode where we kind of just discuss what we know. The trailer for the show looks great. Same maker as The Wire. It looks good.
Some of the same actors as The Wire also.
Yep. And James Franco, Maggie Gyllenhaal. It's going to be James Franco's first TV role since Freaks.
Television. Wow.
Wasn't he on an Amazon miniseries, or is that considered different?
A miniseries doesn't count.
Okay.
Anyway, and I don't know which one he was on. I don't know of any.
Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. It's possible.
All right, and then go to the Watch It Talk, watchittalk.com. Check that out. Last week we just reviewed Logan Lucky, this most recent episode.
Lucky, isn't it Lucky Logan, or is it
Logan Lucky? And then next week I think we're going to be doing the Bruce Lee biopic. We'll see how that goes.
What? Is that the best thing that's out that week?
Wait, you haven't seen that commercial?
Why would you assume that that's not a good thing to watch?
That's not good.
I just figured there's probably we're getting into the season. The movies that are coming out right now are all fire, dude.
Wait until you see what's out.
Did you see Brigsby Bear?
There's 3 weeks of really slim pickings for in the next like 5 weeks or something like that. Anyway,
hey, I'm all about the Bruce Lee biopic.
Yeah,
I'm all about it. The company I work for, we built
Come on that episode.
The company I work for, we made their website, the BruceLeeFoundation.org. Check it out. I'm on that, making that stuff. And we met, like, his daughter is part of the Bruce Lee. That's her company.
All right.
So I'm all about it.
Dog, you're trying to review Goon.
And for the show, you can follow us at Legacy of 24. Email us legacy24@gmail.com. Go to our website, legacy24.com, or our Facebook, facebook.com/The Talk. And send us a review and have Christina read it in her angelic, beautiful voice.
Oh, my voice is so bad. Oh.
Your voice is one of the top 5,000 voices I've heard.
It's up there. People you know.
It's up there.
Also, when I laugh out loud at your jokes, it sounds terrible. That was the worst laugh. Sorry, everybody.
I think the listeners at home disagree. But anyway, that's it. I'm Dylan Shuck.
I'm Just Marino.
And I'm Christina Vanderslice.
Yeah, that's how it sounds. Oh, bye.
And we'll see you next week. All right, peeps.
All right, then.
Put those dates in your calendars so we know. It's in the
They're in my brain.